Hey guys, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Ryan Garcia warns, Tank Davis' popularity could fade without big fights. Ryan Garcia predicts Gervonta Davis' popularity will dim if he is not fighting anyone that the fans want to see him against. The problem: Tank's protected path. What Ryan is talking about is the way Tank Davis' management has protected him his entire 11-year career, matching him exclusively against non-risky opposition, like Frank Martin, where he was always the favorite with little chance of losing. That management style of careful matchmaking continues to this day. Garcia predicts WBA regular lightweight champion Tank Davis' title defense against Frank Martin on June 22nd on Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view won't do good numbers because fans don't want to see that fight. That dream fights fans demand. Ryan says the guys that Tank needs to fight are him and Devin Haney. Fans also want to see Tank Davis fight these guys: Shakur Stevenson, Sabriel Matias, Teofimo Lopez, and William Zepeda. Garcia's warning: "You are not that special. I'm not even worried about Tank no more. Tank has got to be worried about us. Tank is going to fall off because he thinks playing that cool bullshit works. Nobody thinks that's cool anymore. You got to be vocal. You got to be ready for that smoke," said Ryan Garcia. "If you are not ready to fight, we are going to forget about you because Gervonta Davis, you are not that special. If you don't fight, nobody is going to watch you." "Facts," said Ryan. "Sooner or later, you are going to have to fight people. Nobody is going to really want to watch that," said Ryan Garcia about Tank Davis' fight against Frank Martin on June 22nd. "You are going to see his numbers are not going to be good against Frank. I guarantee you. You can lie all you want. I know he has a lot of fans out there that fake his numbers. It ain't going to be good. I guarantee you that it's not. He is going to have to see one of us. If it's not me, it's going to be somebody else. He has to fight me because it's the only way he is going to make 30 million in one night," said Ryan. Unfortunately, Tank Davis will undermine his chances of getting a rematch with Ryan Garcia by insisting on playing the A-side game and demanding the same weight stipulations that he got last time he fought him in 2023. Tank will likely want a catch weight and 10-pound registration clause, with the secondary weight check to be in the evening of fight night. None of that will be agreed on by Ryan, so Tank will be back to where he is now, fighting less popular fighters like Frank Martin, Oscar Garcia, and Raul Romero. Isaac Rose managers a guest date for Gervonta Davis rematch. There could be a huge fight later this year. Isaac Pitbull Cruz manager has named Gervonta Davis as a potential opponent for his fighter in December. Pitbull became the WBA super lightweight champion when he defeated Raul Romero last month and has already been looking ahead to his next matchup, according to his manager, Sean Gibbons. Gibbons reflected on his fighter's burgeoning reputation after his recent success. "Down here, it's not Beatlemania, it's a Pitbullmania," Gibbons said. "People are writing songs for him, creating models for him. It's something." Gibbons believed that Cruz will be looking at a quick turnaround for his first title defense, with August a potential date. Manny Pacquiao, Cruz's promoter, is also looking for the fighter to stay active. Manny wants activity to keep his momentum going, Gibbons added. Pacquiao is also keen for a December clash between Davis and Cruz, giving the latter a chance to avenge the defeat from their first meeting. "December is perfect," Gibbons continued. "We are not chasing Tank Davis now that we have the belt, but everywhere we go, everyone wants to know when we're fighting Gervonta Davis. He will fight. Then Pitbull will fight and will be ready. He's ready to fight and the fans are ready to see him again. The fans have spoken," Gibbons said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.